Good afternoon or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Or I think in one case, good morning, I think.
Oh, wow.
And how's everybody today? Welcome to another edition of the Bill Crane Report. Christine Gleason is right here by my side to straighten me out when I get off the rails.
I'm bracing for the onslaught of what you have today.
That's it. Well, I tell you, I got a few things here. First of all, some thoughts on the state of California.
Okay.
California is having a metamorphosis.
Really?
The poverty rate in California is 20%.
Okay.
20% of their population are below the poverty
And
scale.
how does that compare to other states?
It's quite high.
Oh.
59% of the people polled favor deporting illegal aliens. This is the home of the sanctuary cities.
Right?
59% say out with the scalawags. 49% support the travel bans imposed on some of the majority Muslim countries because of improper controls and a lack on vetting. Now, this isn't Mississippi or Alabama. This is the Golden State.
Well, maybe their experience is teaching them a few things.
The person that did this polling, and I believe this was Pew, I think, it says, their little editorial was, California has become a major gateway for drugs entering this country and human being trafficking and for gang members.
So that all goes together in one package.
Bingo, bango, bango. Yep. The Golden State. There it is.
It's getting tarnished. And gold isn't supposed to tarnish.
That's what made it so valuable. Did I tell you that I had read a book about Chinatown?
About who?
Chinatown?
I don't recall.
Well, if I did, I did. But I'm going to repeat
If you didn't, you
myself.
didn't.
I have this note, so I don't think I did mention it, but Chinatown, A Portrait of a Closed Society by Gwen Kincaid.
Right, you did tell me
Yeah, I
that.
did tell you about that. Very, very troubling book. Because these people, when they come over, they live in abject poverty, work about 33 hours a day, have no time off, get paid virtually nothing, and live 8 to a room, and don't vote because they don't trust Americans.
Wow.
They will not participate in our government, and they will not use our law enforcement.
Well, maybe that's because in China, the government is different, and that's what they're used to, so they just carry that over
Obviously.
with them.
Yeah, and we've tried to tell them, you're in America now, and they don't want to hear it.
Right.
Now, they don't want to talk to the police because they're afraid of being deported, because they're all over here illegally.
Well, not all of them, but I can understand their
the
fear.
ones that are living in Chinatown are. The ones that come over here legitimately get jobs and live in...
Because they're not forced to live in Chinatown.
Right, yeah. Because when you're brought over here, you're put in Chinatown.
Well, I don't know. I think that's where you would head for. I mean...
Well, no, because that's where they deliver you. And you have a place to live, and you have a job, and it's like you're indentured for quite a while.
Well, you're amongst your own people. That's where you want to be. I mean, so many things are going to be different. At least some things will be the same.
Yeah. Well, they can get lost in the mess.
Oh, sure.
And, I think that's a lot of it, too. Anyway, it was a very disturbing book to read. I didn't enjoy it.
You recommended it to me, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
It was an eye-opener.
Good.
There it is.
That
There's
will,
the note.
that will be a good reminder for me.
I have a little note here. Black professionals. Attend the June Black-Owned Business Pop-Up Market by Boston Young Black Professionals. Shop over 30 local businesses and enjoy live music, raffles, community building. Saturday, 11 to 5 p.m., District Hall, 75 Northern Avenue, Boston. Free. Register online or go to the business agenda at the Boston Globe.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
I think that's very racist.
I was just going to say, if we changed one word to white professionals, the Globe would absolutely hang us on Public Square in Boston. Probably the Greenway, that elect gallows and hang us both. But when you favor one group over another, the other group is being treated in a racist fashion. They are being discriminated against. Not that I have any problem with this. I could care less, but the hypocrisy of it all is what bothers me. I think everybody, you touched on it. You want to hang with your own. You want to be with your own. No problems. But to exclude others.
But are they, I mean, that was my first reaction, but are they really excluding other people? It doesn't say blacks only.
It says Boston Young Black Professionals.
Okay.
That's who they're looking for. Well, anyway, it's going to get worse, all this stuff. Okay, I read that and it's stupid. I'm not going to deal with that yet. Okay, so I'm driving in South Walpole. I tell you where I was going, but I forget. But I saw something very strange. I saw men in orange shirts picking up trash on the side of the road and throwing it in the back of a pickup truck.
So those are prisoners working.
We don't have that in Norfolk.
We have prisoners working in Norfolk.
Really?
Yeah, they painted the Federated Church, and they've done other things in town.
I've never seen them picking up trash.
We don't have any trash in Norfolk.
We get quite a bit of it along the road, I'll tell you. But,
No, I know that there are, and I think, I don't know, it was in Norfolk or in Franklin, they were painting the schools.
well, I think we can do a lot more with the cons, quite frankly,
Well, I don't
than
know
we're doing.
if the ones that we have in the prison near us are that you can trust them that much to work on a work.
Well, if you can trust the ones coming out of Walpole.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
I never.
Well, they get
got that clear.
they get the ones that are in the pre-release program. They're the ones that they let outside to do this sort of thing. I just think there's an awful lot more of an opportunity to do things here in town. I'd love to see them cleaning up the roads.
We have white professionals that do that on Planet Day, Green Day, or whatever, don't we?
I don't know what they do. I think they just drive around trying to feel good.
No, I know there's a special day.
Yeah, I know. Clean up Norfolk Day.
Is it Arbor Day? I'm not Plant Day, Green Day, one of those days.
So all these days kind of mush together.
In my mind, it is.
Yeah. Well, there was quite an incident over in Sharon.
Okay.
A man, well, a bad guy. There is what they call an eruv. I may probably saying it wrong for my Jewish friends, but it's strings and stakes, and it's a place where you can walk on the Sabbath that's not forbidden, because the Orthodox Jews are not supposed to lift a finger on the Sabbath. But this is an area where they can go and
Relax.
that they're able to heal. Well, no, it's something else. The Eruv is a boundary constructed of sticks and string that Orthodox Jews use to denote whether they can and cannot carry items as part of the Sabbath observance. It's been vandalized repeatedly in recent days, and I said to myself, this really stinks. Except it's a Jew that did it.
It's a hate crime.
Yeah, but it's a Jewish guy himself that did the crime.
Really?
Yes.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, Michael
They catch him doing it?
Rocky Taub. According to, they put up cameras.
They what?
Put up cameras.
Oh.
And sure enough.
Unbelievable.
Yep. He showed a man bending down and picking up a stick on the ground. He then took the knife or blade out of his pocket and tied it to the stick and used it to cut the Eruv line down. They recognized him because he's been a guest before. And then they went to home and they found pieces of the exact same string in his bedroom and all of that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Talk about, it's hard enough to get in two religions together, even splitting up your own religion.
Now, they offered a reward for information on this. The Eruv has been in the community since 1990 and is maintained by 40 volunteers on a weekly basis. So it'd be interesting to see what they decide to do with this fellow. He looks to be 28 or 30.
Excommunicate him.
Yeah, sort of like the Mormons. Send him out of the territory and never let him come back. It doesn't say how old he is, but 28 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, obviously he's got issues. Now, all right. Now you're going to get quite a few you are the judge type of questions coming up. What do you think about the Starbucks incident down in Philadelphia, where two black men came in, professional men, sat in Starbucks, didn't buy anything, and this all could have been avoided if they had bought a cup of coffee, but somebody got very uncomfortable with them there, ended up calling the police. The police came down and said, "You're loitering, get out." And they said, "But we're waiting for someone, we're meeting someone here. We're real estate dealers," or whatever. And they said, "Cuffs right behind their back," and out they go. They arrested them. Well, Starbucks, needless to say, the black community went berserk over this. And Starbucks said, all people are welcome in every Starbucks in the country. They can come in, they can sit, stay as long as they want. They don't have to buy anything. They can use the restrooms. So, what do you think of that?
I think Starbucks is making a mistake. Because that's like welcoming all the homeless people into your house. And then when you have all those homeless people there, your clientele is not going to shop there any longer.
You're absolutely right. Same thing happened at the Boston Public Library when they started letting the homeless come in and sleep.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, they just...
Well, I can see them taking naps during the day, but at night too?
No, but during the day. They just come in, and hygiene isn't high on the list of things that they practice religiously, so people would avoid them. So they'd go sit way the hell over there, and there'd be a bunch of them over here, and pretty soon you run out of seats, you know?
The Boston Public Library is a little bit different situation because my memory is not that great, but I remember going on a tour in Boston Public Library, and they had a story about a homeless person who went in there and read their books and became very rich and gave them a lot of money. So who's to know which homeless person it's going to be?
I mean, yeah, but I would guess that that's probably the exception rather than the rule.
True.
But, I mean, when you've got, some of them are mental patients, some of them are drunks, and when you have them in there interacting, a lot of people are going to be very cautious about going in there and using the public library they're paying for.
It's going to ruin it. Plus that girl that got stabbed while she was in the library.
Yes, indeed. Awful. Awful, awful. I think
they're probably the best bet is to keep track of them, and if it happens too frequently with the same person, just kick them out.
Well, I guess they have to behave in Starbucks. But that's an awful lot like beauty, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. It's going to be interesting to see how all this works out. But I think your initial reaction was spot on. It's going to be a problem. Now.
Well, if I was a homeless person, I heard that. It's great news. That's where I'm going. And there's a Starbucks in every corner, so I don't have to go far.
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Well, anyone that could be.
Oh, I see. Okay. Right. I thought you were talking about one specific.
No.
Well, we've got a crisis here in the U.S.
Many.
The Miss America pageant is no longer going to have the bathing beauty contest.
That's crazy.
And it's not a beauty contest anymore. Now, whatever it's going to be, I'm going to suggest to you there's going to be damn few people watching it.
But I can't understand what it's going to be. I mean, to me, it was all about beauty. If the beauty's gone, what's left?
Beauty, grace, talent, the ability to express yourself, the whole package, you know? But certainly beauty was a big component.
How do you measure that?
It's a very, very individual thing.
I haven't been a big fan of it, but I've seen 1, 2 talents that they've shown, and the talents is really, they're stretching it to call it a
marginal.
Stretching it to call it a talent. So I'm wondering, it would change the whole atmosphere.
Dynamics of the whole thing.
It would be gone. Yeah. It's gone.
Yeah. I'm going to make a prediction. 2 years and the pageant will be all over.
Right.
All right.
But some people may be happy because of that.
Well, I think they're the ones that are pushing this. I think they want it out of business. Oh. I really and truly do. Well, religious hostility by government has no place in our American life. Hostility towards religion has no business. And by a 7-2 margin, the Supreme Court struck down the state of Colorado's heavy-handed attempts to force its will of anti-religious belief against a baker who refused to make a wedding cake with a groom and a groom on the top.
That's an old story.
Yes. Well, it's gone all the way to the Supreme Court.
Right, they said it would.
7-2, they backed the baker. And they said Colorado was totally wrong. They cannot and they can't make the threats that they made to the baker either. So,
well, that's like saying the government choosing who your customers can be.
Or better yet, it's also like saying to Middle Easterners that Muslims that come to this country, hey, no more of that bowing down and prayers 5 times a day. That's disruptive. I mean, we can't have government interfering.
What was Colorado's premise? What was their argument?
Their premise was, you're open for business. You're serving the public, and your individual religious beliefs cannot enter into the field of commerce.
Well, that's reasonable.
However, the man said, we have freedom of religion in this country. And my church teaches that marriage is between a man and a woman.
One man and one woman.
Now, I'm not doing anything to hurt these people. I just refuse to make their cake.
Well, I think he has a right to refuse to make anything.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And the state of Colorado, oh man, they just came down on him. You got no business bringing your religion into this. And the Supreme Court blasted him pretty good. I was very proud of the Supreme Court. Well, there's quite a revolution going on in Saudi Arabia. The women are being freed.
Yeah.
And I think it was last Friday they could begin driving automobiles.
Well, some of the professional women have always been driving, but not the general public.
I wasn't aware of that. But they're also, guess what? Being allowed to go to the movie theaters.
Ooh.
They've opened
What is this world coming to?
They've opened a movie theater, and women are going to be allowed to go.
Is it going to be mixed or just woman only?
I suspect it's going to be men over here and women over there. I don't think they're quite, but this young prince, he's only 31 years old, is the king. And he's going to bring them into the 21st century, whether they like it or not. And he's highly thought of over there. He's educated, I believe, in England. But
I wonder what, if any, backlash is going to be.
well, they're backlashing already. In the mosques, they're quite upset. But he has said this is what it's going to be.
Well, that's the advantage of being a dictator.
Yeah. So we'll see how far he carries us. But I think that that's going to be one genie that when it comes out of the bottle ain't going to go back in the bottle. Well, you may find this hard to believe, but in this booming economy that we have, auto defaults, auto loan defaults are rising.
Well, autos are costing more and more.
Well, yeah. The borrowers are defaulting on subprime auto loans at a higher rate than during the financial crisis. It's, the lenders are being very careless here. I think if I was an automobile dealer, I don't think I'd be too interested in subprime loans. The default rate in 2008 was 5%. It's at 5.8% right now. So in this time of good economic times, I just don't, it's as though the dealers are saying, let the good times roll here, and if they can sign their name to a piece of paper. But this doesn't do anybody any good. Well, anyway.
Well, you can get Salesman of the Year.
That's about it. What are you going to do next year when all the cars come back, repossessed?
Yeah, but they don't go back directly, do they?
Yeah, I think
Well,
they do.
the loan company probably takes care of it, not the dealership.
Yeah. Although I don't know. I don't know how that works. Whether the loan company brings it back to the dealer or I
I
don't know.
wouldn't think so. The dealer wouldn't want it. They would have to sell it on a secondary market, like an auto auction.
I wonder.
And they'd get as much money as they could to balance off the...
Yeah. Here's an interesting tip from Social Security Administration. Make sure that when you move, you tell Social Security about your new address. Even if you're not collecting. If you have a Social Security card, it behooves you to be where they can find you if they ever want to look.
That's a good reminder, because when you're moving, that's probably the last thing on your mind.
Exactly. Yeah, because they do issue a Social Security benefit statement.
Every year.
Ah. So, yeah, it's basically that's it. And you can also check your earnings record to make sure it's all correct and all of that sort of thing. So you want to make sure you get that document.
I think it's very important.
I think you're 100% right. Now, all right, I'm tired of seeing you just lolling about here constantly. So I think it's time maybe you looked for a little part-time job.
I have a part-time job.
Another one. The British spy agency, MI6, is looking for a few good moms.
Moms?
They want older ladies. How about that?
So they won't be shacking up with the enemy?
Well, the older ones like that stuff too, But they want to be able to present a different face that's out there. They don't want their undercover people to fall into a box, They all look the same. They all dress the same, like FBI agents.
So you can spot them easy.
Yeah. So they really have got a lower percentage than they want of women. And they're looking for older ladies. Starting salary, $48,000.
Not worth it.
Well,
how can you do that job part-time anyways?
I was only kidding about the part-time. Once I got you signed up, you're going to head to England and you're going to be over there for 4 years till you get it done. You are over 21 and you do have a degree. You're a shoo-in. I think you ought to go in the spy business. Be good for you. Justice awaits Harvey Weinstein, the serial molester of young actresses and all of that. My question to you is, can he get a fair trial?
Of course not.
No, of course not. You're absolutely right. There's no way in hell he's going to get a fair trial because he is just been tried and convicted by the public.
I almost wonder if he deserves a fair trial, though.
Well,
But everybody is entitled to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As despicable as he is. I mean, we even gave the Nazi war criminals a trial.
Not all of
As
them.
bad as, well, yeah, a few of them opted out for early retirement. But,
Some of them came over here and worked for NASA.
oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
I know.
Yeah. In fact, there was a battle between us and the Russians and the Brits trying to round up these spies and scientists.
Scientists, yeah.
And, oh, yeah. We got a lot of high military men and hustled them over here where they had their names changed and worked for the government for years.
And paid them big bucks, too.
Absolutely. Well,
So Weinstein, it's going to be interesting. Where are they going to have the trial?
New
Did
York,
he say?
I believe.
Huh?
New York.
New York, okay.
Yeah.
But he can afford a good lawyer.
I think he can afford a whole stable of them. Somebody said his net worth, even with him being all messed up and losing his company and all that crap, somebody said 48 million. So you got to be able to get a shyster for that.
He'll get as fair a trial as possible.
Yeah. But you know what? There's going to be people that, when they're quizzed by the judge in the jury pool, that are going to say, oh, no, I haven't paid much attention to it. I can be fair and blah, blah, because they want to be on the trial. They want to be in the jury box.
Sure.
Because they want to write a book afterwards and be on TV and all that. Well, cancer study shows stretching as a big boon. Dr. Helene Langevin of Harvard Medical says, I think we're now starting to really see the body might be able to mount its own defenses against cancer. Well, what the devil are they doing keeping this a secret? This is the first article I have ever seen written about it. And if this thing is a big boon, why aren't we hearing about it? Why aren't doctors talking about it on TV as people lay home sick from cancer?
Well, I guess there's two things. One is there's no money in it. Second is maybe it's not true. Who's saying
well,
that? Who's saying that it works?
Harvard Medical School.
Okay, well that's.
They've been studying mice injected with breast cancer cells. The mice have all the fun in this research business, I'll tell you. And then dividing them into stretch and no stretch groups. One group of mice was regularly lifted by their tails while their front paws grasped a bar. After 4 weeks, the tumors in the mice that were stretched were 52% smaller than the tumors in the non-stretch group. Well, you know, I don't know. But all I do know is if there's some promise of this being possible, and if there's anybody besides this one doctor that's talking about it and doing it, let's get going on it. I mean, this isn't invasive.
No.
Gee whiz. Well, anyway. So, did you hear that, folks? Get on it. Never mind goofing around. There. Well, this is an interesting little story. Google pays executives for hiring women and minorities.
Oh, that's insane.
They pay them a bonus.
That's insane.
Abandoning the highest quality people, the most qualified, in favor of being PC correct. So let's erode our performance for our stockholders, and instead let's participate in a bizarre social experiment, which under our civil rights laws might be illegal as it reeks of racism. I don't understand how a high-tech outfit like Google, unless you're talking about floor sweepers and janitors, which I don't think they have them at Google. They don't make dirt.
They have robots do it.
Right. This just is stupid on the face of it.
It is.
Well, here's a little something I picked up at the post office. And it is National Crime Victims Week. And the other 51 weeks are National Pamper a Criminal Week. Well, that's what I think anyway.
National Crime Victims Week.
Yep.
What will they think of next?
there's somebody in a little cubicle down in Washington in a think tank that dreams this stuff up.
Getting paid $100,000 a year. Then they have to hire somebody to print all these things out.
Yeah.
And pass them out.
Yeah, and then his boss takes credit for it.
So who is in charge of determining what weeks there are? Like, there's several weeks.
There's days. Every day of the year there's something cooking.
So I guess there's really no, if you want to have a Bill Crane week, you can just say, pass out papers and say, this
That's
is the Bill Crane week.
I like the way you think. Maybe we should do that. This is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Office for Victims of Crime.
So
Wow.
who okays this stuff?
Beats the hell out of me. I don't know. Maybe it's sort of a self-gratifying sort of thing here. You print this and just...
So what are we supposed to do? Say, are you a victim? I want to appreciate you?
Yeah, go around knocking on doors.
How do you even know who the victims are?
That's it, we'll have to find them. They're going to have to register.
That's right.
Yeah. Them, the sex offenders, the mentally ill, the gun owners. Let's get everybody registered. Do you know the North Korean economy is half the size of the economy of the state of Vermont?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt that at all.
That kind of puts things into perspective a little bit. Gun arrest. A Boston man was arrested after police found a loaded gun in his car during a traffic stop early Sunday morning. Lino Carrera of Roslindale was pulled over in the area of Batchelder and Burrell Streets. Officers discovered a loaded Glock 42 handgun on the driver's side of his floor. Officers were suspicious that an occupant of the vehicle had a gun after they saw an unidentified man walking in the area with both hands tightly at his waistband. The man walked over to a group of friends who walked away when police approached. The police spoke with the man and noticed his hands were moving freely and surmised he must have handed the gun off to one of the people he was talking to. Well, the couple of them hopped into a car and made an illegal turn. Police stopped them, and there was the gun. Now, Carrera was charged with unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of ammunition, and unlawfully carrying a loaded firearm. What are you going to give him, Judge?
2 years.
Well, on the books is the Bartley-Fox Act that says, in this situation, it is 1 year mandatory. In prison, no parole.
Okay.
The judges say, we don't like that law. It ties our hands. We can't take into consideration, well, he's young, or he's old, or he's stupid, or whatever.
So in other words, you can't take from me my ability to judge. I'm a judge, so don't...
Yeah, and I get the black robes to prove it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want discretion and respect. Well, the judges do not enforce Bartley-Fox. And it's been on the books since, I think, 1975. They will not enforce it. Something's wrong. And every judge that doesn't enforce it, off the bench.
So what did this guy get?
I don't know. He's going to be arraigned on Tuesday, and we haven't got to doing fixing him yet. Satchel Paige, a Hall of Fame.
Just to go
Yes.
back on that article, not only was he carrying a loaded gun, but he was hiding it. And to me, that's more than just somebody walking down the street with a loaded gun.
Right.
He knew he was being followed, and there's more to it than just
Of
carrying a
course,
loaded gun.
Yeah, when they conceal it, yeah, it's something. But of course, they're concealing it because they know they're in violation of the law, and they know they're going to be arrested. They know they're going to go to jail. So, it's not as though this was in the commission of a crime. They get much stricter laws for that. Satchel Paige, relief pitcher for the Cleveland Indians, he's in the Hall of Fame, gave some very sage advice. He said, "Don't ever look back. Something might be catching up." I always like that one. Mm-hmm. So there, folks, words to live by. Oh, good. I have two of these very similar. Man charged in 15 armed robberies.
Oh, my goodness.
A Peabody man has been charged in a spree of armed robberies at convenience stores around Greater Boston during a 3-month span this winter. Luis Cintron, 39, has been charged with, then it lists all the places. In each of the robberies, 2 suspects entered the store wearing masks and carrying guns, according to the statement. Prosecutors did not say how much was stolen. Cintron, who has been in police custody since March, has been charged with firing a gun at a store clerk who followed him outside during a January 8th robbery in Lynn. 15. There's another one. Guilty plea. A serial bank robber, nicknamed the Route 128 Bandit, admitted Tuesday to robbing 10 banks in Greater Boston last year. Paul B. Landrum, 38, pleaded guilty to 10 counts of bank robbery and faces sentencing on August 13th. This is good, you gotta love this. Public defender Scott Lauer said in an email that his client has taken responsibility for his actions and is prepared to accept the consequences. He is deeply remorseful.
I'd be remorseful too if I was caught.
If I was caught, yeah. That's what he's bummed out about.
So what's the problem here? Is it that these people are expert, or that we're lacking in being able to protect the bank from being robbed?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think they're cautious. They wear masks. They never got any description of him except that he was a light-skinned black male. And he had a black woman with him that wore a scary wig. That's about the best they could do. They never really got good pictures. Oh, wait a minute. Video footage from a business connected to one of the banks showed Chambers in the company of a man determined to be the 128 bank. Tamia Chambers is the woman wearing the wig. They got pictures of her and then her with the 128 bandit. Now, what do you do with these two guys? I mean, they're armed robbers. Mm-hmm. One of them fired at a guy that came running out of the convenience store, and he fired at him. Now, if he wanted to hit him, he probably could have, but he fired to scare him off. But that nonetheless, I mean, 15 armed robberies, 10 armed robberies.
Beats me.
8 to 10, 10 to 12.
I'd probably give them 8.
8. All right, 8 it is.
Because I think after so many years, it doesn't make any difference, you know?
So these people, when they get back out, are going to go back in again?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course. Recidivism is written all over them. They don't have tattoos, they just have recidivism written all over them.
Well, they got away with it for 9 times.
Exactly. And they're both laughing and saying, the fools that go to work every day and, you know.
Just playing the odds. They've got a good chance.
Would you bet that drugs might enter into this?
Get the what?
Drugs may possibly be involved here.
You never know.
I mean, I get a hard time seeing these guys as doing this to raise a family. So they need money for something.
But if they're on drugs, are they that clever to do it 10 times?
Yeah, I know. 15 times, the other bozo. Well, they're both facing 8 years from you, I'll tell you. All right. South Carolina corrections officers face charges. This is interesting. More than a dozen South Carolina corrections employees are facing federal charges related to bribery and bringing contraband into the state's institution a week after a deadly prison riot. Indictments against 14 corrections employees, including at least 11 officers, include charges of racketeering, bribery, and wire fraud, and in some cases are connected to actions that allegedly took place as long as 3 years ago. They accepted money for smuggling drugs, cell phones, and phone accessories into state prisons. They had a deadly riot at Lee Correction Institute that left 7 inmates dead. Now, those inmates got those guns someplace and did the planning on the cell phones someplace. So these guys here,
You know, this is crazy, but I'm more against those people than the people that rob the bank. Because these people have a job.
That's
and
right.
they have the trust of the American public.
Yep.
And they're betraying the American public.
And they also betraying their fellow officers that are straight. And some of them got killed. Yeah, there's a special hot seat in hell for those guys. Well, I love this story. Couple ordered by town to grow grass. A Missouri couple decided to turn their entire yard into a flower garden. Turns out this was against a city ordinance which says half of residents' yards must be grass turf. But the wife is allergic to grass. Now, a federal judge has ruled tough, and he has ordered them. Now, he modified it a little bit, and he said, you have got to plant at least 5% of your property with grass.
You know what I would do? I'd tar it all over.
Yeah,
Forget it.
forget about it. Now, get a load of this. These people were subject to penalties of $180,000 and 20 years in jail for non-compliance. Unbelievable. Their landscaping, which didn't include grass, included planting beds, 2 small ponds, pathways, and seating areas. Now, that was in 2002. They put all this in. In 2008, somebody pointed out to the town that people had no grass. The Duffners asked for an extension, but they were denied. Then they told them, well, you got to plant at least 5%. The judge is way off beam on this one, saying tough. You gotta plant 5%.
Can't you appeal that?
Probably. Yeah, but excuse me. At some point in time, you'll run out of money, taking this baby to the Supreme Court. I'm sure the Supreme Court would throw this out. I mean, these people are morons. This judge right here, he could quit. This is Missouri. He could quit and come to Massachusetts. Looks like he'd fit in well here. Well, all right.
Also, they could appeal it on the grounds of what was the intent of the law? Was the intent of the law to prevent people from just piling junk up in their yards, or was the intent really to help the people grow grass?
I think, now I have no way of knowing, don't know, but these neighborhood associations take on a life of their own. You got 3 blades of grass that are taller than the rest. Get out there and cut them. Yeah, boy.
Well, there's a place over in Franklin where you can't hang your laundry out.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah.
Norfolk tried that once, 25 years ago at a town meeting and got hooted down. Interesting demonstration. Close all slaughterhouses.
You want to show the TV audience?
Close all slaughterhouses. These people object to animals are not food. Meat is murder. Peace begins on your plate. So bad, even introverts are here. Or whatever that means, I don't know. But, somebody wants to think that way, fine. And if they're satisfied eating grass and sawdust and stuff like that, that's fine. But leave me out of the equation. Take your problem someplace else. Well, I do have this. Teen bitten by coyote.
Okay.
Apparently the coyotes are getting hungrier and hungrier because Swampscott police are urging residents to be careful after a teenager was bitten by a coyote. They searched the area and they couldn't find the coyote. Gee, there's a mystery there, huh? I mean, guys clomping around the brush and looking for a coyote. Yeah. Coyote. Lieutenant Gary Lord said coyote sightings are fairly common in Swampscott. And even if they had found a coyote, there would be no way of knowing because it's the same one that bit the teen. So they put something on their Facebook page alerting to people. And don't back off when you see them. Don't turn your back, but try to be as big and loud as possible. And in case they attack, fight back. Gee, that's really good. Fight back, Or rather than just stand there and get bit, wacko.
Sometimes I suspect the teenagers are showing off or teasing them.
Bingo. Well, I can tell you, the coyotes that I have trapped, are not angry and trying to bite me. They lie down on their bellies and stretch out as long as they can, like they're trying to hide from you. Oh. And you can walk right up and pop them right in the head. They don't move. So this business about coyotes attacking,
especially a large person like a teenager.
Yeah.
I can understand maybe babies.
A 2 or 3-year-old, yeah. But I suspect this coyote may have distemper or rabies or something like that. Because those are the only kind of wild animals that will ever approach you. Although I got a couple of chipmunks at my house that are really giving me a tough time. I got one more for you. American Medical Association will vote on allowing doctors to assist suicides.
Okay.
What's your feeling on that?
I'm for it. I think if somebody wants to end their life, it's their privilege to do so.
You know, I've got a folder at home on suicide. I got a folder at home on a lot of subjects that we got to take one at a time and talk about. These are just quick hitters, but suicide is one. It's a personal decision. However, a doctor takes an oath. What's a Hippocratic oath? What is the first thing he says?
Do no harm.
Do no harm. Seems to me that helping somebody kill themselves is the ultimate harm you could do to them.
The problem lies, though, with those people who are terminally ill and cannot move and they want to die, they're out of luck.
I think there's an awful lot of doctors that may help them along their way. But I don't like the idea of doctors getting carte blanche to do this.
Making it a policy.
Yeah, I don't like the sounds of that at all.
No. It's a personal decision between the doctor and the patient. And
the patient and his maker, and his family.
right, absolutely.
Yeah. But
I suppose some doctors want the okay so they don't have the responsibility.
so they won't get sued. Now you have to sign away 9,000 papers to. But I just don't think it's right. A doctor is a professional. He's supposed to heal you. I don't. Yeah, I just don't go for that. Folks.
So maybe there should be a separate group of people
Which
that are not
doctors?
doctors.
Witch doctors. Yeah, but then you get into, oh God, the legislature would have to pass laws, and then a committee would have to appoint so many of their brother-in-laws to be on the board, and then these meatheads would be making decisions about you. And I'm sure with me, they'd say, oh yeah, go ahead, give him all the stuff he wants, you know. But I don't like it. And there, look at how much more we get. Holy cow. So folks, we just got the signal to. So on that
You're
note,
not committing suicide there, are you?
no, that was up here. So
All I heard was the
I'm dangerous with this. So folks, listen, enjoyed being in your homes with you. Well, actually, just figuratively, not really.
virtual reality.
Yeah. But listen, I hope that you'll tune us in next time when I continue to go through this pile of rubbish. And I got lots more. So, on that note, wish you a happy summer. It's supposed to be hot tomorrow, or tonight. And then cool off.
Summer's
again.
coming. It's going to be a lot of hot days.
Yes. So, good night, friends.
Keep cool.
Keep cool.